Before we proceed, I just want to let you know that this video assumes that you have already watched the previous video in this series where we discussed about grid trading. In this video, we're going to optimize the bot that we created in that particular video. So if you haven't watched that, click the link on the top of your screen and go and check it out. And if you find this video helpful, like and subscribe. Now, to optimize your trading strategy, there are several tools and frameworks you can use in Python for the task. As long as you follow these few steps that I'm going to describe, you should be able to optimize your trading strategy just like the MetaTrader 5 built-in optimization. Again, there are several frameworks you can use in Python for optimizing, but I prefer using OPTUNA, which is simple and effective enough. So let's optimize our trading strategy using OPTUNA. First things first, we have to install it. So do pip install OPTUNA. After installing it, import it in your script. Now, just for the record and helping you have different files you can play around with, let's create another file called gridbot optimize.py. Paste each and everything copied from the gridbot backtest. Import OPTUNA. Then you have to create the objective function. The objective function is nothing other than a function which runs the specific function you want to optimize and returns the outcome. In our case, this is the exact code we want to optimize. So you want to append it to the right and define the objective function. It should take a try object. Now, this is important. Throughout all your trials, you want to start with a fresh simulated MetaTrader 5 each time a new trial is run, similarly to how the MetaTrader 5 optimization is doing. It restarts afresh every time there's a new optimization trial. So to start afresh, you have to go at the top and copy the tester code and the process of instantiating the mtrade class, paste it within this trial function. Now this will produce errors in the main function because we referenced the mtrade as the global object, which is not a good practice. So we can go and introduce a variable called mtrade, then we can refer to the ctrade object. Then from here, the main function for the mtrade object, the original mtrade object. Now the thing is, when you run this, it returns the so-called tester stats. Now the tester stats is what you're seeing in the backtesting outcome. What you're seeing here, including the initial deposit, total net profit, gross profit, and much more. These are returned by the run method. So we can obtain the object, define it as tester stats, assign it to the run method. So say you want to optimize for the best parameters that lead to the highest net profit. So this function should return the net profit. But a strategy tester can fail for whatever reason, so we can check if tester stats is none. If it is none, we should return the infinite value, a negative one, because we are going to find the highest function from this. If we return the infinite value, then that's going to be the highest. Then if this check is passed, we can return from tester stats object, return net profit. With the objective function in place, we have to, and this is very important because this is the actual optimization itself, is that we have to use the try object to experiment with different values. In our case, we want to optimize for the grid window and the grid value or the grid gap in points. So at the top here, we can say grid gap underscore points equals to, from the try object, you want to get suggest int. You pass it the name of something you want it to suggest, the initial and maximum value. Say you want to experiment with 100 points up to 10,000 points. You can use the step to indicate, because this could suggest 101, something which won't make much of a difference. So we can set the step to 100. Then this is the value that we have to pass to our function. Now the final value, let's set it to 10,000. Or we can say to 20,000. Then let's start at 500. I think 20,000 is a lot. 15,000. Then for the grid window, we can suggest the grid window starting from 5 bars all the way to 100 bars, and let's use the step of 1. Assign the grid window value here, and that's pretty much it. Finally, we create a new study. From OPTUNA, call the method called create study. The direction is very important. This dictates what you are trying to achieve. So we want to achieve parameters that produce the maximum net profit in all trials. So the direction should be set to maximize. Let's say this is the absolute or maximum drawdown. You can set the direction to minimize. Then for the study name, let's give it the name grid underscore bat underscore optimization. Then with the study in hand, we can call the method optimize from it. We pass it the objective function and the number of trials or iterations we want to try, finding the optimal values. We can print, let's print the best parameters, best grid settings for, pass the instrument here, and let's just print those best parameters. Then we can say the maximum net profit. The equal sign. So from the study object, you want to get the best value. Since we are optimizing for the best net profit value, the maximum net profit, so the best value will be net profit in terms of the account currency you have. And optionally, we can choose to save all this outcome in a CSV file. Okay, let's run this. Now, I forgot to explain one crucial thing we have to. For premium users, you have to instruct the strategy tester class that we are running on optimization mode. This will prevent extra logging, which will improve the performance of the optimization. So we can say optimization mode equals to true. And if you want earlier margin stop outs, you can also set it to true. Will act like MetaTrader 5. If the margin thresholds are hit, the entire backtesting will stop, so that trial will be skipped. There you go. We were able to find the best parameter for this grid trading strategy on US 500. The grid gap was 9,500. The window was 8, and the maximum number of orders in each direction was 15. So to backtest this, you can go back to the grid bar backtest and adapt parameters for the main function to these exact values we obtained, and you should be able to backtest and use your trading system with the optimal parameters. So let's do that. So the grid gap point is 9,500. The window is 8. Maximum orders each direction 15. Then I'm gonna clear the screen and run this. As you can see, here is the graph. We made a few bucks, which is equal to 53, and we did not have this major equity drawdown on the account. And that's how you can optimize and find the best parameters for your trading system.